In this video, I will be speaking about USD JPY. Now, as usual, to keep the video as educational as possible, first I will be covering the technical aspect of this market. We will try to understand where we have the highest probabilities for the next potential move here for this pair. Now, starting from the monthly time frame, what we can see is that we have a market which at the moment is testing a quite important structure level. In fact, this zone was acting as previous resistance here. The market then broke above the zone. At that point, all that previous resistance started acting as support here. The market, in fact, tested its zone and started rejecting it to the upside. And again, here the market is acting as support and once again as support here. So from this level, we could expect potential bullish price action to be created. Dropping down on the weekly, we can see that from a weekly perspective, the market has definitely been respecting this area quite precisely. We can see, in fact, how here, the first time the market respected it as resistance, here as support. Again, as support, this is the only fake breakout that we had because at the moment, once again, the market is respecting the level as support and a potential rejection to the upside definitely seems possible. It's also important to keep in mind that if we have an impulse and correction from a structure perspective, if we want to measure the correction after the impulse, we have to take a Fibonacci from the low to the high of the impulse leg. And if we do that, we can see how we had a perfect 0.618 Fibonacci retracement exactly to this previous support that we could expect this market to potentially reject to the upside. Now, if we drop down on the daily time frame, what do we see? Now, from a daily perspective, it is quite clear how we did have the creation of a W formation. Now, in general, after the creation of a W, you want to see first a completion and then more bullish continuation. Now, I did speak about USD JPY, in fact, a couple of times in the past. I spoke about it when we were here. I explained all the reasons for which from here we wanted to see this move to the downside. And then from here, I made another breakdown explaining all the reasons for which we could expect this rejection to the upside. And by the way, I will link in the description that previous analysis so you can go and check it out for more free education. However, at the moment, what do we have and where we could be looking for the next potential move? Now, before we continue with our analysis here, from a daily perspective, there's some more bullish price action away from this zone could be expected. We can also notice how this area is very strong previous daily support, which is now turned resistance. Now, the best probabilities in the market come when all time frames are showing the same direction. Now, in this case, the monthly and weekly are both showing potential bullish price action to be developed, as we have previously seen. However, from a daily perspective, until the market will remain below this level, it can easily find resistance here and get rejected to the downside. So what we need is a potential break above this resistance. Only at that point, that previous resistance would become support. And after the break on the retest of this previous resistance turn support, this is where we would have quite good probabilities and structure for a potential rejection to the upside away from the zone. So we don't know if we will get this break, but if we get the break on the retest of this previous resistance turn support, how we could be approaching a potential rejection higher. Now, as usual, trading is reactive and not predictive. The monthly, weekly, and daily, those are the best time frames from a directional perspective. However, when it comes to confirmations and entries, the best time frames are the intraday time frames, so 4 hour and lower. Therefore, what we could be doing, potentially also with students, is monitoring price action from an intraday perspective during this move to the downside, waiting for the market to shift from an intraday bearish market as we would have to an intraday bullish market. And if the market would shift from an intraday bearish to bullish market and provide to us one of our valid entries, at that point we could be looking for a potential rejection to the upside for the market to complete this impulse correction and impulse pattern to the upside. Now, if you enjoyed this free analysis education and update, make sure that you drop a like and a comment. It really does support the creation of more free analysis education and updates for all of you. And I will see you in my next breakdown.